revelation of Nisan, Nisan isn't only the beginning, it's also the end and the beginning, or the ending of the ending and the beginning of new things. Because Nisan doesn't just begin the year, it ends the old year. It's the thing that comes sealing, the old year is finished, and now comes the new. In the natural world, you always have a beginning first, and then you have an end. But in God, in redemption, it's different. You have first the end, and then you have the beginning. You have an end, and then you have a new beginning. It's the opposite. It's upside down. When did Nisan begin? It came at the time, it comes after winter, after the season of darkness. It begins the season of light, or the season of life. So what does this mystery of Nisan reveal? In redemption, Nisan is not only the month that will begin everything, but it's the month that will also end everything. And first comes the end, then comes the beginning. So in salvation, there always first must be an end and then a beginning. So what do we see manifested in Nisan, in Messiah? Messiah chose Nisan to begin salvation, but according to the mystery, it can't just be a beginning, it has to be an end. That's exactly what happened in our salvation in that month. What happened? It wasn't just a beginning, it was an end. It was an ending. What happens in Messiah? What was that ending? It was Messiah crucified. That is the ending. The mystery begins with the ending first. There was an ending. It's no accident that he died at the end of the Hebrew week. Just as the sun is beginning to set, and comes the day that ends everything, the Sabbath, the Shabbat, the ending. On the last day of labor, he labors, and then then it's over. If you look at what Daniel said, turn to Daniel for a moment, Daniel 9, all key scriptures, Daniel 9. Daniel 9 speaks of the coming of Messiah, and he gives the exact countdown time. But he says something else. When he begins that prophecy of the coming of Messiah, and it's amazing because it gives the exact timing of his coming, he says this. Verse 24, it begins this way. 77s, Daniel 9:24, 77s have been decreed for your people, the Jewish people, and your holy city, Jerusalem, to finish the transgression, to make an end of sin, to make atonement for iniquity, to bring in everlasting righteousness, seal up vision and prophecy, anoint the most holy. Then it talks about Messiah coming to Jerusalem and dying, being killed. So look what it says. Notice something. It has come, these times are given for what? To finish the transgression, to make an end of sin. So first, what's it about? It's about finishing up. Messiah crucified, the death of Messiah is the finishing up. It's the ending up. Because Nisan always brings an end and a beginning. It's the end of sin. It's the ending of the curse. It's the ending of judgment. For those who come in, it's the ending of the old life. So what does he do at the very end of all that ending? What does he say? It is finished. Nisan ends the winter. Messiah comes in Nisan to end this darkness, to end the winter, to end the season of darkness, a spiritual winter. And notice what happens. The order of it is always that the end comes first, then comes the beginning. Winter comes, then comes spring. In Messiah's redemption, notice what comes first. First comes the cross, or Messiah at the execution stake as he dies. That's the ending. And then comes the resurrection, the beginning. So just the same thing of Nisan, it's all there. Nisan holds the mystery of the gospel. It's the very time he chose. When in Nisan do these mysteries reach their peak? When does Nisan reach its peak? There is a peak to Hebrew months. In the Hebrew calendar, the month always reaches its peak or its fullness in the middle of the month. Because month, the Hebrew month, comes just like our English word month, linked to moon. So in Hebrew, the calendar progresses through a lunar calendar. So every Hebrew month begins with a new moon. Every Hebrew month ends with an old moon. And every Hebrew month reaches its fullness with a full moon. So when does the full moon take place in the Hebrew calendar? Always right in the middle of the month. And that is considered the fullness of the month. It has reached its peak. The Hebrew month is 29 30 days, or 29.5 is the lunar number. So the middle of the month is the 14th or 15th day of the month. So the fullness of Nisan, the time of beginning, reaches its peak. The power of Nisan, the mystery of Nisan, always has to reach its peak on the 14th and 15th day of that month. So when did Messiah die on the cross? On the night of the 14th day of Nisan, the day of the 15th day in the month of Nisan. On the very day that this month called the month of beginning reaches its peak, it almost determines the time of redemption. Right there, while there was a full moon over Messiah that time. Because it's the fullness of Nisan, the beginning, the power of the beginning reaches its peak as he dies there. And he's put into the tomb. And when does the day of the new beginning come? On the 16th day of Nisan, or the day of the resurrection. After the end comes the beginning. Everything happens right in the middle of the month. And so here it is that Messiah comes. But to bring redemption, he first has to end the old before you can have the new. But there's more to the Nisan mystery.